Hey, welcome to Football 101. It's Dave Wyman from Danny, Dave, and more. And not the result we wanted. 0-2 now, two tough defenses on the road. But one of the things going into every game is the way it sets up and the way you think things are going to happen. And a lot of times it doesn't happen that way. And for the Seahawks, they were really hurting on defense coming into this game. No Bobby Wagner, no KJ, no Delano Hill, no Trey Flowers. They had to cut Tom Johnson to bring Shalom Luani back. So yeah, they were up against it, and they had to start a couple of guys, young guy in Calitro at middle linebacker, and then at will, Michael Kendricks, who they picked up in about 3 days to learn the playbook. But when this happens, you have to have guys step up. And I'm keeping it on the defensive side because there was a lot to like. And two guys that really stepped up in this game, first, Shaquille Griffin, and then also very quietly, Barkevious Mingo. And he's been very quietly playing great linebacker this entire season, preseason. So there's a play like this in the preseason. And I use the term when I used to coach high school football, be stingy with the space, which means fight and scrap for every single last inch on the field. And a guy that plays like that with a sense of urgency, and it's what I used to tell the kids, play like it's an emergency. Frank Clark plays like that. But both of these guys play that way as well. In the preseason, they had a similar play where Barkevious Mingo strung out a play, and Shaquille Griffin came up and made a stop, and it was 3rd and 1, and they were fighting for every last inch. And then they end up, the offense ends up getting a false start, and then they get off the field. They didn't get off the field on this one, but they were very close, and a lot of it was because of the way these guys played this play. And first of all, Shaquille getting 2 interceptions, and he's just going and getting the ball, but he does a great job against the run and taking on receivers and, you know, pressing them and getting them off. So what happens here, this ends up being an option play that runs this way. And it's kind of interesting because this is the strong linebacker and that's the weak linebacker, yet they lined up opposite of the strength because you got a tight end and 2 receivers here. Usually that's strong right and Barkevious would be over here, but they probably saw something and a tendency where they lined up this way. And it's a good thing that they did. But what they did was they ran an option this way. And Mitchell Trubisky, the quarterback, is actually a little bit faster than everybody thought coming into this game. But they start running it this way, and what they're doing is they're trying to option number 51, Barkevious Mingo, and so they're trying to get him to commit. And so what he does, he takes a step up, and he does what's called shuffle, where you don't cross your feet. You just never cross your feet and shuffle along, and then, you know, if you do cross your feet, that's how you get beat. And so he did that perfectly and kind of what we call feathered this play. He made sure the quarterback wasn't going to keep it, and then made sure that he pitched it to Jordan Howard. So he ends up pitching it, and so Barkevious continues to sort of shuffle outside, and he ends up getting in on the tackle. But, you know, a lot of times you'll see a guy take an angle like this towards the sidelines. You can't do that. Right there, all that is wasted space. You need to get straight down the line, and that's exactly what he did. Then on Shaquille's part, he comes up and takes this guy on and just does a perfect job of pressing him off of him. You want to get the blocker off of your body and then shed him to the inside because he needs to stay outside because he's got Barkevious coming from the inside. So he does a great job there. And they end up making a tackle over on the sidelines that holds them to 4th and 1. Now, the Bears end up going for it. And, you know, I think possibly if you had Bobby Wagner in there the next play, and then this is nothing against Austin Calitro because he did a really good job, but the next play what they did is they ran what's called a belly. So the quarterback was here, running back was here, and everybody was loaded up, and there was just one gap over here, and this is on the 4th and 1 play. And he starts this way and he takes the ball here on this side, so Calitro kind of comes over on this side to help, and they ends up bellying it back. I think they call that because that looks like a belly. So he ends up taking it back and they end up getting it. But the play before that is just, if these two guys and everybody on the team continues to step up like these guys did and play like you're stingy with every last square inch on the field, you're going to have success. And this was a particularly impressive play by both of these guys. And the guys on the defense, they did their part. They stepped up.